Good morning, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in the last class, we have discussed we have discussed the first two phases of software development lifecycle module. Is there any query from anyone in the above first two phases? If no, then I can proceed to the next one. Anyone have any query in the first two phases? Okay. Okay, then let's move to the third phase, that is the designing phase. That means initially we do the feasibility study, then we perform the requirement analysis and specification phase, where we got a special document called SRS. That means the everything is comprises in the SRS document. Okay. Then the next phase is designing phase. So what is the designing phase? So basically in this phase, what we do, whatever information we got in the form of SRS document, now we have to give a theoretical structure to the informations, or theoretical structure. We have to design a theoretical structure of the proposed system so that the actual development of the product can be done. So that means, for example, suppose if anyone wants to build a house or build a flat or build a apartment, first they simply design the whole structure, that at which area, what type of room, what type of activities we are going to perform. We have to theoretically design the entire project, and once it is approved, or once it is satisfactory to each and every stakeholders, stakeholder means who is going to invest on it, is everything is approved, then we are going to design the proposed, or that means we are going to develop the proposed product. So designing is nothing but to bring down all the knowledge of requirements, comma, analysis, and design the software product. design the software product. Okay, everyone write in the design phase. Designing of the software is a third phase or third stage of software development life cycle, right? Designing of the proposed system, phase 3. This phase is all about to bring down all the knowledge of requirements and analysis and proposed a design of the software product. So that is basically we are dealing with a software product. So that means we need a proposed design. Okay. Proposed a design of the software product and documented everything in a DDS. The full form of DDS is design document specification. Design document specification. Okay. So that means based on the requirement, we propose a system or propose a design, and every details of the proposed design is documented in a particular document which is known as a DDS, design document specification. Like in requirement analysis phase, what are the requirements the client need, what are the requirement we have to achieve, what is the possible goals, or what will be the possible product. Everything is documented in SRS, that is software requirement specification, where every requirement is listed there in terms of software, in terms of hardware, in terms of client requirement, in terms of organization requirement. Okay, so once it is complete, we move to the another next phase, the designing phase, and where we propose a design and we documented each and every details of the proposed design in a document called design document specification. That means once this DDS document is prepared, then only we can have an idea that this will be the proposed software based on the SRS document. Okay, the next line, this DDS is reviewed by this DDS document, or DDS, we can also say the DDS, design document specification. This DDS is reviewed by all the important stakeholders This DDS is reviewed by all the important stakeholders, and based on various parameters like risk assessment, comma, design modularity, comma, budget and time constraints, and finally the base design approach is selected for the product. Base design approach is selected for the product. So what does it mean? That means the base design approach is selected for the product. That it means that when we design a DDS document, that means for a software, we need to propose multiple design approach. Okay? So that means we got a SRS document, and based on this SRS we proposed a multiple design approach and share with the stakeholders. Stakeholders means the client who is interested in this product, and the other team members from the feasibility team, from the requirement analysis and specification team, with the testing team, with the designing team, everyone. And everyone go through the different DDS document. That based on this SRS, we develop multiple design approach to this software. Now we have to finalize which approach we have to select, and based on it, and to select the best approach, we have to do a comparison, or we have to take care some individual points like risk assessment. That means in which approach have minimum risks. Next, which approach has the designing modularity. That means if you can design the whole software in module based, then it will be easier for us to develop. Then budget and time constraint. That means which approach requires a minimum budget and minimum time. And finally, we select a best design approach. Clear? Everyone clear? Next paragraph, right? A design approach clearly defines, next paragraph, a design approach clearly defines all the architectural modules, of the product along with its communication and data flow representation with the external and internal modules. With the external and internal modules. Okay, is it clear to everyone what is designing or what tasks we have to perform in the designing phase? Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then the next phase is development or coding. We can also say it is a development phase, or we can also say it is a coding phase. So that means till now whatever we have performed, everything is in pen and paper, or we can say it is a theoretically, till now theoretically we have developed the product, because we do different kind of surveys, we prepare some documents, theoretically design the propose the design of the proposed system. That means everything is done theoretically. Now in this particular phase, or in this phase, we can say that the actual developing is going to done. Okay? That's why it is, this phase is known as a development phase or coding phase. That means in this phase we are going to perform the programming part. Whatever design we have prepared or whatever design we have selected, now we have to build this design. X phase 4, right? Developing or coding. Developing or coding. Right? In this stage or in this phase of SDLC, that is software development lifecycle, in this phase of SDLC, the actual development starts. The actual development starts, and the product is built. And the product is built. After full stop, right? This phase is also known as programming phase. This this phase is also known as programming phase. after full stop, right? The development of the software product starts in terms of the development of the software product starts in terms of writing program codes, in a suitable programming language, and developed a error-free executable program. Full stop. After full stop, right? The programming language is chosen the programming language is chosen with respect to the type of software being developed. So that means what type of software we are going to develop, based on it we have to select a programming language. Okay, this is all about the developing or coding phase. It means, right, in this phase we are writing the code, we execute the code, and finally we got a actual structure of the software product. Is it okay? Any query? Any query in the coding phase?
No, sir, no query.
Okay, good. Then the fifth stage is the testing phase. The fifth stage is testing phase. So that means up to coding phase, we develop a product based on some documents we have prepared earlier. It may be a SRS document, it may be a DDS document. Based on these documents, we have prepared a product. Okay. Now, can we make it sure that whatever product we have developed, it is exactly based on the SRS or exactly based on the DDS? Because someone else is preparing SRS, someone else is preparing DDS, and someone else is involved in the coding phase. Now we have to do a study in which we have to finalize that whatever documented, whatever informations or whatever requirements is documented in the SRS documents, everything is implemented in the software product. That means the main challenge is arrived in terms of testing. That means if the testing teams reject your product, that means your product is not according to the SRS document, or your SRS document is not according to the client requirement. That means everything will go in waste if the software product is not going to pass this stage. That's why in the very beginning of this course, I have mentioned that the major portion of your resources, that means the manpower or financial or the time, the major portion needs to use in the testing phase, because what is the aim of our development? To develop a error free product which satisfies all the requirements of the client, and the client requirement is listed in the SRS document. And if the software product is not according to the SRS document, we cannot clarify the product in the market, or we cannot consider it as a ready product. That's why testing is very much important. In stage 5, right, testing. In testing, right, this stage is usually a subset of all the stages as in the modern SDLC models. As in the modern SDLC models. after full stop, right? Software testing is done software testing is done while the developer develop the product and using this or using testing using testing we can finalize or we can ensure that the product reaches the quality standards as defined in the SRS. As defined in the SRS. Testing can after full stop, right? Testing can be done. Testing can be done at different levels of code such as such as such as module testing, comma, program testing, comma, product testing, comma, in-house testing, and testing of the product at user's end. Next phase, integration and implementation. Integration and implementation. right? This stage of SDLC this stage of SDLC is involved is involved is involved in the integration of the software with its compatible libraries, databases, and the other programs and the other programs. Full stop. This after full stop, right? This phase is also involved. This phase is also involved in the installation of the software. On user machines. On user machines. And the last phase is maintenance. In this phase, right, this phase confirms the software operation in terms of more efficiency and less error. In terms of more efficiency and less error. After full stop, right? The software is maintained timely. The software is maintained timely by updating the code by updating the code according to the changes, everyone write little fast, the meeting will end in 5 minutes. Updating the code according to the changes taking place in user end, or in terms of technology, okay. This is all about the defined phases of software development lifecycle module. Okay, this is all about software, the phases of software development lifecycle module. Okay, anyone have any query? So what you have to do, you have to go through all the phases once again, whatever we have discussed in the class. You have to go through the phases, and if you have any query, in the next class we will discuss on it. And in the next class, what we are going to discuss, we are going to discuss different software development lifecycle models. Okay, so in the next class we'll discuss on it. Okay. So before that, you do one thing, you make a group of 2 people. Zitul, I'm giving you a responsibility. Make a group of 2 peoples. You have how much students you have? 12.
16.
16. So that means